Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're embarking on what I think is a totally fascinating journey inward. We're going to take our modern, surface-level understanding of some ancient Vedantic concepts and, well, reframe them into a profound, incredibly practical framework for your actual life. So let's just dive right in. Okay, let's dive into this roadmap of our journey inward. We're going to hit 5 key stops. First, the true meaning of yoga. Then, 6 paths to the self. Number 3, why breath is not the spirit. 4, Ahimsa, preserving natural order. And finally, number 5, the ultimate yoga, self-knowledge. Let's get to it. All right, section 1, the true meaning of yoga, beyond physical exercise. Because, as you'll see, the Vedantic perspective is infinitely richer than just something we do on a rubber mat. The whole foundation here actually lies in the Sanskrit root yuj, which means to unite or to combine. Think of it kind of like a marriage broker. Actually, if you're familiar with the great epic, the Ramayana, Hanuman served this exact purpose by uniting Rama and Sita. So yoga is literally the broker that brings 2 distinct entities together. But that naturally leads us to a massive question. Unite what with what? What exactly are we trying to bring together here? Well, in Vedanta, yoga is the force that connects the seeker, so that's you, the sadhaka, with the sought, your ultimate goal, the sadhya. It's like you're a treasure hunter, and yoga is the instrument you're using to clear away all the obstacles standing between you and the gold. But here is the ultimate mythbuster, and it's such a beautiful twist. The ultimate yoga is the knowledge that you never were separate in the first place. No way, right? You don't need to become something new or reach some distant place. The real yoga is actually just the removal of the ignorance that makes you feel separate. You are already the treasure. Moving on to section 2, 6 paths to the self, a practical toolkit. Because to remove those obstacles of ignorance, we absolutely need the right instruments. The sheer breadth of what yoga actually encompasses is just incredible. We've got Samatvam, which is equanimity, Chitta, vṛtti, nirodhaḥ, the stillness of the mind, Ashtanga, the 8-limbed path, Upasana, focused meditation, Karma, proper action, and Jnana, the path of knowledge. Let's highlight a couple of these. Consider Samatvam yoga. This is all about maintaining equanimity in success or failure. Imagine a super calm doctor operating on a patient. If the doctor freaks out at the sight of blood, the surgery fails. But if they're calm and detached from the outcome, yet fully engaged, that's Samatvam. Or look at karma yoga. It's about right action combined with the right attitude. Specifically, it's about surrendering the results of your actions as a gift, a prasada. Whatever comes back, success or failure, you just accept it as a gift. It's an absolutely crucial way to purify the mind. And then what about Chitta, vṛtti, nirodhaḥ, or stilling the mind? I absolutely love this metaphor. Think of your mind as a dam. Right now, a massive amount of your mental power just flows wastefully into this restless ocean of scattered thoughts. Yoga arrests those thought waves. It essentially builds the dam, conserving all that incredible mental energy so you can use it for higher, constructive purposes. And to actually build that dam, we have Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, broken down here into 4 digestible macro steps. It starts with external ethics and internal discipline. Then it moves to posture and breath, then inward to sense withdrawal and focus, and finally, meditation and absorption. So this isn't just a physical workout, it's a complete personality conditioning program to get your body, your breath, and your mind perfectly fit for higher inquiry. Which brings us to section 3, breath is not the spirit, a common misconception. Now, yes, the word spirit literally means to breathe in English, but Vedanta requires a much deeper look. Now, what's really interesting about this is the contrast between material breath and non-material consciousness. On the left, we have prāṇa, the breath. In Vedanta, breath is actually considered subtle matter. It's like the filament in a light bulb. On the right, we have the Ātman, the spirit, which is pure consciousness. That's the electricity. The filament has no light of its own, right? It only glows because the invisible electricity is flowing through it. Your breath is just the filament. This setup brilliantly illustrates why breath is so important. The annamaya-kośa, which is our breath's energy sheath, is physically sandwiched right between the gross matter of our bodies, our bones and skin, and the subtle matter of our minds and emotions. Because it sits right in the middle, Disciplining your breath becomes the absolute perfect spiritual bridge to influence both your physical body and your mental state. But we really have to remember this profound quote from the Kena Upanishad. No mortal lives because of breath alone, but by the Ātman. Prāna doesn't have its own life. It just borrows it from consciousness. So your breath is essentially a mirror, reflecting the true life source. So we can wrap up this section with a really vital takeaway. Breathing is the door, not the room itself. It transforms instinctive activity into a deliberate spiritual practice. But, and this is a big but, sitting with a steady breath without ever using that calm mind to actually inquire into the self, well, that's like spending all your time meticulously polishing a car and never actually driving it anywhere. All right, section 4, Ahimsa, preserving natural order. Beyond mere pacifism. It is time to completely redefine nonviolence as something far more profound than just being passive. Ahimsa actually means aligning with Dharma. It means actively avoiding any action that goes against the natural, harmonious order of creation. You see, the universe is a single, interconnected whole. It's honestly like a giant mirror. If you deposit violence into the World Bank, it is inevitably going to come back to you. So Ahimsa isn't just about being a nice person, it's literally highly intelligent self-interest. Swami Dayananda Saraswati shared this super vivid metaphor that I just love. Imagine a rugged old tamarind tree. If you take off your shirt and rub your bare back against that rough bark, nothing happens to the tree, right? But you severely hurt yourself. Well, Dharma, the universal law, is exactly like that tree. When you violate the natural order, the universe doesn't break, you break. Violating universal law only ever hurts the violator. Now we all have 3 built-in weapons to inflict this harm, which is exactly why ahimsa has to be practiced across 3 dimensions. First there's kāyika, physical nonviolence. Then there's vācika, verbal nonviolence, meaning no abuse or harsh arguments. And finally, the toughest one, manasa, mental nonviolence, where you don't even harbor the intent to harm, dropping all that anger and jealousy. Practicing ahimsa across all 3 of these levels is what truly sensitizes and refines your mind. However, we definitely have to talk about the exception, dharma protection. Ahimsa is not misplaced compassion. Imagine a surgeon refusing to operate on a patient just because the surgery causes temporary pain. That's misplaced compassion, right? If peaceful methods fail and sickness or adharma is spreading in society, a limited, judicious use of force to protect harmony actually becomes a necessary duty. It's all about preserving the greater balance. And that brings us to our final stop, Section 5, the ultimate yoga, self-knowledge. Everything we've discussed so far completely shifts focus here, moving from physical actions and mental attitudes directly to the path of pure knowledge. This is jnana yoga, and here's the kicker. This is not a practice of doing. You don't do jnana yoga the same way you do a downward dog. It is strictly the removal of ignorance. It requires consistent study of scriptures, ideally under a qualified teacher. All those previous yogas we talked about, equanimity, stilling the mind, regulating your breath, they just serve to make your mind calm and sharp enough to handle this final step. This yoga unites you with the absolute truth that you are already the self. So, the crucial point is this. Cultivate the ground, but don't forget to sow the seed. Physical yoga, breath work, and proper action, they beautifully cultivate the soil of your mind. But self-inquiry, the path of knowledge, that is the actual seed required for true liberation. You must plant the seed. And that leaves us with this final, incredibly profound question. Once you've built your dam, polished your mirror, and perfectly cultivated the soil of an equanimous mind, what do you actually do with it? You apply it to life's ultimate inquiry. You sit down and you ask, who am I? I really encourage you to take these tools and start asking that question today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep inquiring.